Hey everybody, this is Diane. We're going to do something a little bit different today. Do you remember when I would do a stashistry? I called it something else for a little while when I was doing this with the little strips of paper, but I went back to calling it stashistry. So I have a list of stashistry pieces to use in here, and a list of let's use it. So stashistry is a word that I made up, and it is taking something that I have a supply of, index cards, S&H green stamps, guest checks, whatever I have a supply of, and actually sitting down and making projects with them. And let's use it is something that I have that I need to make use of, like my Big Shot and my Cricut for cutting. What else is in there? I haven't done them in so long, I don't remember. Well, we'll see, because this is what I'm going to do today. So the last time, see, what I did before was I did the project on camera, and then I would draw the next one so I could get prepared for the next time I was going to do it. So the last time I drew one of these, it was vellum, and I had made a list of things I could do with vellum. I was starting to compile some ideas, and I never got around to actually making any of them, and now I can't find my list, and I haven't taken the time to sit down and try to think of, to start again. So I decided I need to just start all over, start something fresh. So I drew one, and it was fabric scraps. Well, I have plenty of fabric scraps. So I did some things off camera. I can't video at my sewing machine. So I did some things off camera that I can show you. And then we're going to do a little bit of building of some of the things. I won't sew them. I might sew them and then come back and show them to you and tack it on at the end. But so we're going to look at this fabric things that I made. And it's not just fabric flips. And for let's use it, I drew Cricut. So I've been wanting, I've been struggling with my Cricut. And I've been really wanting to take my time and try to see what I can do with it. And I finally got it working really, really well. I had changed my blade, which didn't help at all. But yesterday, I was doing simpler things, not very intricate, and it was still struggling to cut things properly. And I changed my blade again, and it's working great. I got new mats, and I put a new blade in, so it's working great. So that's what I'm going to start with. I'm going to show you what I made over yesterday and this morning with my Cricut. So first I used my Fontopia. And there's not a lot in here I want to make because they're really, really neat looking, but they're intricate, and they require a lot of gluing, and I'm not interested in doing that. I want simple things. But to keep it simple, I think I did these tags. So there's just 2 layers. And I was thinking of mid-century when I did the pink and black. And I did these. These are little borders. Also, all of these I was thinking mid-century with. These could be little pockets or tuck spots. Now this was before I changed the blade, and I had to work at getting everything out and kind of cut around, but I did it. I should have just scrapped it and done it again with the new blade. This one, it cut very nicely, and I just lifted it right off the page, and all the pieces stuck to the mat, so it worked great. And the same with these. So these, I think, all look mid-century modern. I'm not sure about this one, but it's doodly, and I like it, so that could go in some kind of a journal. And there's a flower border that looks 70s. And then I did these 2 little medallions. So I wouldn't have tried this before I got it working better. So I'm very happy about that. I spent a lot of time working on them yesterday and then gluing them. And this one was with, I think it's with paper lace. And I want, oh no, some of those mod things were with the paper lace. So these were with the Fontopia. This is called Marquee, and it's the shape and then a shadow, so it's just a very, very thin black border around it. So these were Fontopia, and all those other modern things came with the paper lace cartridge. So I use a cartridge. That's the kind of machine I have. They come with a cartridge that you put in. It's not done with a computer, which I don't want to deal with. I tried it and I don't want to do that. So then today I just worked on this one, Small Talk Frames and Tags. And it has Polaroids, and they'd have words, which I probably won't use, but arrows and little dangly tags, shapes. The Polaroids you can get with things cut out or even words added. Or you can cut out the word and glue it on, I guess. It does show that the word sticks up, so there's a base, and then you cut the word out of a different color and glue it on top of that. So there's lots of fun things. I just got started on it, so I only did a couple different pages. And I have more of these that I didn't glue together. I just glued one of each because I made 2 or 3 of each thing. So there's a little Polaroid with circles underneath, and these went with it on that page, the little danglies and an arrow. And I didn't do a Polaroid for this one. I was thinking of the lemon journal when I made these. These are big danglies, but I won't dangle them probably. And some arrows. So I really had fun doing that. So I'm going to buy a couple little sets of the blades, and you get two in a pack. So I'll buy 2 packs and then some more sticky mats. So I always have, if I need to change a blade, I always have a new one because I just used my last one. And I'm going to enjoy using my Cricut again, and I'm very excited about that. So then, like I said, let's draw for the next time. And it says, oh, dies with the Big Shot. Okay. I was hoping for something. I do use my Big Shot quite a bit, but I can use that to get a nice supply of things that I use often. So, yeah, that'll be fun to do. I could even do some of that right here on my table here. All right, so the fabric scraps. I did some fabric clusters. And these little, I guess they're clusters, but they could actually be little tiny pockets. And they have a base, a muslin base. And I did some flips, of course. This is a heart-shaped lace that I got recently. I'll take these and set them aside for Patriotic Journal coming up. A cute little elephant. lots of little threads clinging to them. And I did a strip. Just did one strip, but I can do more and keep them on hand. I can cut off pieces if I need to, or I can just use this strip to tie around a journal. And one of the really fun things I did was make some pockets. This one has 2 pieces sewn together in a thin eyelet lace. And this one, this was just a little strip of fabrics I had sewn together for something, and this got cut off with this big triangle part on it, I think. No, maybe not. Maybe I just added that and cut this little strip to be on either side of it. This is from a wallpaper sample book, so this was a fabric sample, and it's got a finish on the back. Must be for drapes. It's not cut very straight. I appliqued a cherry on there. This one, I added this very thin piece of yellow to the top to accent it, and added a little pocket here. This one has one of those pieces cut from the linen calendars, and a little applique. I did some piecing on this, even has a little piece of vintage burlap. And this had been cut around the deer, so I just folded. Did I? Nope, I didn't fold the fabric under, but I it was a little bit of work to get that to follow the shape, but I really like the way it turned out. I added a stamped little muslin scrap there. And this one I folded over this piece and made a little nice edge on it. Added a scrap. I went back, I had these little scrap pieces of rickrack that I wanted to use up, so I went back and added some to fabric flips and that little piece to the pocket. It wasn't long enough, but I think it looks cute, just going part way across. So I got to use some rickrack scraps too. So that's what I did with the fabric scrap stashistry. Let's see what I'll do for the next one. This one has more papers in it. So the Let's Use It category, that would have things like some supplies, like some paints or sprays, colored pencils, things that I don't get into and use as much as I should. Not just, it's tools and supplies, but these are, I don't know, I think of them differently in my head. So let's see. I think I have them all separated, so now I'm going to grab one. Acrylic box of vintage cards and papers. Oh, I rearranged my stuff. Let me see. I don't have, that acrylic box is different now. Oh, that's a different acrylic box. I don't have that. I don't have that acrylic box anymore because I rearranged all that stuff. So let's pull something else. Slides and slide mounts. Okay. I'm going to keep this out where I can see it, but I need to put it back in there. Well, I'll just write it on my little paper I have. Yep. So, stashistry. will now be slides, and let's use it will be the big shot. And I don't have a schedule for doing them. It's just whenever I, like if I'm in between projects and I wanna, that's something I can do. Work on the next Stash a Street or Let's Use It. So I think I'll have to go through these and maybe redo some of them. I'll put that in there to remind me. All right, so now I want to start putting together some fabric flips and clusters for my lemon journals. So I have some appropriate fabric. I have this page here that I can use for getting the size right. I have some eyelets and all kinds of bits. So when I saw my scrapistry was going to be fabric scraps, you've seen these before, but I have this little container with smaller pieces of fabric. They're perfect sizes for fabric flips. I put some of the colors I might need today right on top. And then I have this for the tiny ones, and they can accent the larger pieces of fabric. And then I have this one with the tiny bits of lace ribbon. So I have all this stuff here. I have this fabric that of course I will use. So this one needs to be on top, and I need something to go behind it. I don't have a lot of yellow fabrics, but I think this would be a great one to go behind this. And I can iron the creases out. Make a nice big flip. So they won't all have lemons, but I want one of the lemon ones in each journal, at least. I guess it goes this way. But I would like to use some of the pretty yellows and blues and greens with eyelets and make fabric flips with that, with those supplies. Really doesn't take much fabric to make a fabric flip, so I take these little containers on a tray into the living room and make a mess with all kinds of threads and stuff on my couch while I watch TV and pin them together. But when I'm done, it doesn't look like I've used any fabric at all. There's no diminishment of my supplies. I'd have to make fabric flips for weeks. I've thought about that too. Make a bunch of fabric flips and put them in my shop. I have a ton right now that are already made. And they usually sell pretty good if I put them in my shop. Well, this is more frayed. I didn't just tear that one. I think that was the edge of the fabric, and it just looks very frayed, and if I try to tear that little piece off, it won't work very well. So I'll have to cut it. Didn't bring my pins over. too short. I'm not finding rickrack and trims like I used to at flea markets. So I guess I'm going to have to start buying new rickrack. Now, I like this. It's an apron. I'm going to cut this pocket out. And I'll cut the ties off. Maybe one of these journals will be tied with this tie. I can sew it together and make it longer. I hate cutting these up, so I've been hoarding them. It's time to stop hoarding. We'll do 2 rickracks on that one. Wonder if that's too wide. Yeah. Okay, that's 4 fabric flips. Now I didn't even touch my little scrap basket here. I don't have any yellow in there. Let's use this yellow gingham. Okay, so I've got my flips pinned together, one for each signature. And maybe I'll have time at the end of the video to tack on a video of the finished ones. So let's see, what time is it? 36. I'll just do a couple of clusters. I'd like to use this little bit wider eyelet and make some clusters. Okay, that red polka dot and the yellow were sewn together, came off of this. Here's a little yellow stripe. Put the yellow on top. Ooh, I'll save that for my patriotic journal. Pretty much using the same fabrics, except the yellow's different. about this one. This is a fabric that I dyed. I'm going to dye some paper, hopefully today. I want to dye some yellow paper. It's a very simple cluster, but it's got the blue ribbon through it. And maybe one with the lemon fabric. Something like that. So I'll do one more, something like that, and then I will sew them together and hopefully show them to you. Although we're at 45 minutes already. But hopefully, I'll see you soon. Bye. Okay, I'm back. I sewed them all together, and here is the final look. We have two of these little clusters. And these two. And two with the lemons. And I may make more. Depends on how I, like the looks of the pages. I don't have stamps to use, really. Nothing with lemons on it, but I could use other stamps. These have different elements, but the same colors. And same with these. They have the same background. Thank you for being with me today, and I hope that you are having a creative day. Bye.